Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to some more Endless Scrap Mechanic. In today's video, we're going to be checking out this research ship with deployable submarine that I made. Now, this is a build that once I started, I could not stop, and I have to say that I think this is probably my favorite build that I have ever made in Scrap Mechanic. I had so much fun building this, and I've been having even more fun playing with it, so I'm really excited to show you everything that this ship has to offer. So let's check this thing out. Now, at the moment, I have to use the lift to spawn it in, but I'm thinking what I might do is expand on this world and add maybe like a marina or a dock and some like seafront warehouses or something like that. I think there's some pretty huge potential with this water in creative mode. But here we are now, we are in the water, so I guess we might as well hop up on to this research ship. Now, like I said, I think this is probably my new favorite build that I have created in Scrap Mechanic. I just started building this and I just didn't stop. I'm pretty sure I just built it all in one single day, and I just had so much fun building it and adding all of like the different details and layers to this build. But not only the details, but also just the total functionality, which I'm really excited to get into once we take a little tour of this. So here though, this is our winch system for our deployable submarine. I love this little submarine. It's loads of fun to cruise around in underwater, but we'll be deploying that in a moment there. Over here, we've got a crate full of extra supplies as well, you know, just adding all sorts of little details to this build. Now, inside here, this is our main deck. Now, a thing in Scrap Mechanic when it comes to building ships, of course, is you have to use bubble blocks. So I can't really go downward underwater because then obviously we would just be underwater. So maybe in the future one day there might be some type of water exclusion update or something for Scrap Mechanic. Now inside here we have our power station, and this is kind of like a small thing that I added where you can just turn this on, and what it does is it makes this noise. And you know what, that's literally all it does, but something like that, I find it's like the kind of detail that just adds a layer to this build, because now we're on this ship. We can hear the motor running as well, so it sounds like there is actually power. So right here, this is just a little cruise corner where you can sit back and relax while you're out on the water. And then right here, we have like a little bit of a locker storage system, and then some stairs that lead us up to the second deck right here. Now, of course, this is the bridge. This is where we have all of the windows. You can see there is a really nice view all the way around the ship, which is really ideal when you're navigating the open waters. And my favorite part of this bridge, I'd have to say, is the wedge pieces that I added along the perimeter here at the corners of all of those windows. It just added a certain amount of shape to the windows that I didn't expect until I filled those gaps in, and it just really tied the whole thing together. Now, we do have some more lighting up here as well, of course. We have a whiteboard for some charting and, you know, writing out plans or daily tasks or who knows what. And then we also have like a little like mezzanine deck back here where we have our hazmat waste disposal. You know, that's pretty important to have at sea. And then we also have ourselves a tool crate as well. So one thing I love about this mezzanine deck is this little ladder right here that I added. Now, obviously there are no ladders in Scrap Mechanic at the moment, so I can't actually, you know, climb up this or anything like that. But what you can do is I've made it so that there's like a little spot where you can just barely stand at the top rung right there, and that allows for you to climb up it. So it's obviously not an actual ladder, but it really does work well. All right, so we're gonna go and pretend like we need to get rid of the lines. Let's ditch our lines. We're gonna leave the shore here, and we are gonna go to sea so we can do some underwater exploring. All right, so here we are at the helm of this ship. Now, the first-person view in this seat is just absolutely amazing. I have been having a lot of fun just cruising around in this ocean in this view. It's just the best. So if I press 1, that is going to put us into like a little bit of like a trawling speed. So we're just going to go at a relatively slow speed here. And this is what you would do if you were kind of, you know, navigating around in a port or around other boats, just to be a little extra careful. Now, if we press 2, that is going to go into full speed ahead. And as you can see, we are now going much faster than we were before. So once you're at full speed, this is pretty much like where you are the most nimble and you can move around the most. So you can see with A and D, it is extremely easy to just steer the ship around, go in any direction that you need to. And there is also the ability to cut the engines, and if you press 3, you can go in reverse as well. Now, this is really interesting. So this reverse, it's obviously not very fast, but it does get the job done. But this reverse function also has a secondary function. So if I go underneath the ship here, you can see these front thrusters. They are the reverse thrusters, but they also turn from left to right. Now, the reason why they do that is because they act as a bow thruster as well. So if I turn those thrusters all the way to the other side, and then I press 3, you can see there are an extra sets of thrusters at the back of the ship that pushes on that side as well. So then what you end up with, of course, is the ability to strafe to the left, and then if we turn the helm the other way, then we can strafe to the right as well. So this is obviously really awesome for when you're coming into port and you want to be able to dock next to one. Now, one of my favorite parts of this build is the radar. We can press 4 and look at that. You can see at the top there is a spinning radar with a sensor on the roof of the ship there. Now, the reason for that is literally just to make a beeping sound. So if we just listen here. So what that is, it's just an idle sound. I have the sounds of the motors down below. There's the sound of the radar spinning. There's the beeping of the radar as well, which just kind of gives you that sense of being like on an idle active ship. And I think I love it. So the next switch is 5, and that is going to turn on all of our nighttime lighting for operations. So right now it's obviously daytime, but if we go into our text here and type /night, you can see that we now have it in the dark, and these lights, they really pop out. So here it is with the lights off at night, and then when we turn the lights back on, we get a really nice view of everything. Now, before I turn it back into day, I just wanted to do a little walk around of the ship at night because I think it's just extremely satisfying, and I have a whole bunch of like idle red lights all over the place because that's a pretty common thing you would see on a ship, is just kind of having lights all around for that night vision. Now back here there is an extra set of lighting as well for the nighttime diving operation. So back here I can turn on this left one here and look at that. You can see we have really bright lights that are all facing towards the sub, and then there's also another light right here for our like utility workshop area. And then the final button at the helm of the ship is just the giant ship's horn. So, you know, you blast that if you need someone to get out of the way. So over in this left seat here, this is kind of, I figured this was kind of like more of like a navigation position. So they have access to the radio. Now, obviously this radio is playing music, but we're going to pretend like this is more for useful communications on this ship. And then there is also the ability to turn on our search and rescue or spotlights here. So we can turn on the lights and rotate them from left to right in like a scanning motion in front of the ship, and that would kind of just illuminate anything in front of us. And then there's one more seat. Now this one is not very exciting, but I figured this one is kind of like the seat that is in charge of the watertight integrity of the ship. So in this case here, they have access to the 2 doors. So you would have 3 people as a crew on this ship. One of them is at the helm, one is on navigation and lighting, and then you also have one that's just making sure that the doors are shut. Hey, everybody needs a job. So that is pretty much everything with the ship. Now, obviously, there is also our deployable submarine, so why don't we head on down here to the deck, and we're gonna take a look at this. Now, you can see here that this starts off with some caution blocks across the top of the submarine. Now, when you get this off the workshop, what you're going to want to do is put it into the water, and then once it's in the water, you're able to just get rid of this. This is a very, like, lag-free build, so we're just going to remove those blocks, and there you go. You can see that the submarine has dropped down into its little holder spot right there. And so the rest is extremely easy. We're going to start with the left switch right here. Now this is my favorite part. We're going to press that, and look at this. I added like a spinning winch style system here that just looks really awesome as the submarine goes down into the water. And then we can reel it back up again as well, just like so. But now once the submarine is in the water with that first switch in position, we can press the second switch just like so, and that is going to open up the holder right there just like that. And look, and so now we have a loose submarine in the water. So I have a little porthole right here that you can access the seat, which gets us right into this submarine, and this submarine is awesome. This also has a really awesome view here with lots of windows in the front as well, and it's really functional too. So we just got to press 1, and that is going to start dropping us down in depth right here like so, and it also points the nose down as well. And then once you're like that, you just press W, of course, and you start driving forward. So this submarine is really simple, and I tried to keep it that way because I didn't want it to get too laggy as you were using it in the ship. But my favorite part about this is the turning. So back here you can see I have 2 fins on either side. Now there is no like hydrodynamic actions in Scrap Mechanic, so obviously I had to use thrusters, but I ended up faking it by putting sensors in front of each fin right there on left and right side. So when I press the A and W key, you can see that those fins activate the sensor, which then in turn activates the thruster. So it kind of gives it the illusion that we're using those fins for control. Now I find it best to use strict follow cam for this thing, just because you can follow along with the obviously the front where you're aiming, and then that way you can focus more on the way that your ship is facing up and down, because as you turn, the front of the submarine slowly does go up. But that's why when you press 1, it just kind of brings it back down again. So it's really easy to control. You can also see that it's naturally buoyant upwards, so it's not rolling over or anything like that. But it is extremely neutral in buoyancy in the water. If I stop moving, you can see it's really not sinking or going up. We're pretty much just still. Now you're probably wondering what the first person looks like as well, so here it is. Now this is just super easy to control, and you know, having all of these windows is just so crucial, because look at that, we can look up, we can see the ship right there, no problem, and we can also see all the way down to the ocean floor as well. So you can maybe start to see why I have spent so many hours just playing with this build, and also why I had so much fun making it as well. And I got pretty lucky because this sub really just kind of worked out, and I didn't have too many problems with it. Alright, so we're gonna say that this excursion is complete. It was a huge success. We have done all of our valuable research. Now it's time to go back to the ship. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna line it back up again with our mount. So this can be a little tricky at times, but the whole idea here is to kind of just get your submarine facing center here. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna cruise on in. Relatively simple, and like I said, super neutrally buoyant. So once you get it into position, it's pretty much where it's gonna need to be. So the idea is that you want to line up the bottom red spot there with the diamond plating, or like just that bottom line of the bracket there. So we're pretty much perfectly in position right there. So we're just gonna hop on out of the submarine. Now this would be a lot more fun if you had a second person that was like here manning the crane so that they could like hoist you back in. So to get the sub back into the ship, all you have to do is go in reverse. So we're gonna start with that second switch, and there we go. The brackets go underneath those wings, and then you can see they hoist it back into the starting position just like so. And then we press the left switch again, and there we go. The hoist is craning it up. Oh yeah, look at that. This is just so satisfying to see. So there we go. Now the submarine is back on the ship. Now I just want to do that one more time. It's just so satisfying to watch it go down, and then let's bring it back up. Oh, this is so awesome. So of course, now that the submarine is back on the boat, we are ready to head back to the open water. Here we go. And this is the best part. That submarine is extremely simple. You can see we have disconnected it from the ship. We were just using it. We just hoisted it back up again, and look at that. We are able to head back onto the water, cruising along, and it is just not lagging whatsoever. Now, there's another really awesome thing about this ship, and that is even if you're going at full speed, you can get off of it and just walk around, no problems whatsoever. You can see the ship is currently cruising along right now, and we can just wander around. We can take a look at all of the awesome stuff that we have here to look at as well. I think this is kind of like really the best part about this ship, is being able to just have it cruise along and wander around it. Alright, we're almost at the other side of the map now, so we're gonna get a little bit of a first-person view of handling this ship, and I've made the steering very slow on purpose, by the way, so you can see once I turn the wheel, it takes quite a moment before the ship reacts to it, and you can also see that there's a delay in correcting it as well, which just adds another layer of like having so much fun using this ship. Now here we go, we are gonna bring this in. Now, obviously I need to build some docks and stuff. Like I said, I need to expand on this world because there is so much potential. Now here we go, we're gonna bring it down to a slower thrust. Nice and easy. There we go. We're gonna kill the power. And so once it's in that position there, obviously we just use our bow thruster and we can just slowly get closer and closer to the shore. So that is going to be the video for today. I really hope you guys did enjoy this build. Like I said, I had so much fun making it, and I hope you have as much fun playing with it too. So if you guys did enjoy it though, then let me know by hitting that like button, and if you want to tune in for some more Endless Scrap Mechanic, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, maybe even turn on some notifications so you get the latest and the craziest coming from me in Scrap Mechanic. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next one. So bye for now.